Good morning. Happy Monday. I got some foofs going on in my hair. Anyway, so the news broke on Friday that Jack, Diddlin Jack, Texas Sheepdog 72, was found guilty in a jury trial on the sole charge of resisting arrest. Now, apparently there were other charges that had been brought. I believe that one charge was displaying a weapon, and another charge was, I believe, a city law about carrying firearms in the city of Olmos Park. It's been a long time since all of this shook down, and I don't really follow it. I don't really much care about what goes on in Texas. My best recollection, and this could be wrong, but it's not really material to the facts. It's not really a material fact. Was that Tiny Grisham, the open carry Texas guy, goes by the name of Chicken Hawk. He had been, I think he had gone to Olmos Park at some point in time to protest their law, which he thought was in violation of Texas state law, whether that's an or whether that's a state statute or a constitution. I don't remember. I think it was a state statute, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I believe he got arrested, and I believe that sparked a bunch of people in Texas who were associated with auditing to go down to Olmos Park and protest. I think they saw it as Leon Valley Part 2. On the day of the arrest, it is my understanding that News Now Patrick, Nomad, who is deceased, he died of a heroin overdose, I believe. Again, not a material fact. If I get that wrong, I'm sorry. And Jack, Diddlin Jack, they went down to protest. And they were outside of the city hall, city administration building, something along those lines. And in Nomad's video, which I have refreshed my recollection with, you see Nomad and Patty start talking to some of the employees that have left. A group of employees, city employees, walk out, followed by two police officers. Patrick and Nomad start asking them questions. The police officers zero in on Jack, who is behind the two, the Patty and Nomad, who were filming. Zero in on him because, I'm assuming, because he had what appeared to be a rifle strapped to his back. They proceeded to arrest him. I mean, it was just no talking, just grab him and take him down. The firearm that was on his back exploded into a million pieces. It was apparently a fake, obviously a fake. So did they have probable cause to arrest him at that point, knowing, or should have known, that it was not a real firearm? I don't know. That's an interesting question of law as to whether, once you've decided to arrest somebody, if then you find out that they are in fact innocent, that they could not be committing the crime that you thought they were committing, could they still be guilty of resisting arrest at that point? I mean, if they resisted it while you thought you had probable cause, and then something happens to dispel your probable cause, like the alleged firearm breaking open and turning out to be like an airsoft gun, or maybe they grab it and they realize it's a rubber pistol, something along those lines, does that then negate the resisting arrest, if there was resisting arrest? It's a good question. It's a good legal question, and I have not researched that. I don't believe that it would, because you've already resisted arrest. At the time the cop had a probable cause, you resisted arrest. Now, resisting arrest doesn't have to be what we think it is. It doesn't have to be punching the cops or anything like that. It could be as simple as when the cop goes to grab you, pulling away. That's resisting arrest, technically. It's resisting arrest. And again, for all these things, I'm not a Texas attorney, so Texas may have case law that I'm not aware of, but generally speaking, that's resisting arrest. Can be. So they charge Jack with, I guess, 3 or 4 different charges. They end up dismissing 3 of them. I think it was 3 that they ended up dismissing in the interest of justice. Usually that means, or at least it's my experience, that means that either they're getting a plea deal and they're dismissing him in the interest of justice to get the plea deal, which did not happen in this case, or the ADA determined that there was not, they don't have a chance of actually getting a guilty verdict. They found that they cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you've committed that crime. So they're going to dismiss those in the interest of justice and not waste court time or jury time or anything like that on something that they know they can't prove. So all that was left for Jack to get convicted on was the resisting arrest charge. And did he resist arrest? I watched the video at the time. I didn't see him resisting arrest. I rewatched the video. I didn't see him resisting arrest. Now, a cop could always say, well, he pulled away. But I struggle to figure out how he resisted arrest. And the only thing I could think of is that the ADA continued this prosecution, the district attorney, whoever they got prosecuting this. I think it would have been as a misdemeanor. I think it would have been a district ADA. I don't think the city brought these charges because I think it was in a county court, but I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong. But I have a feeling that they just wanted to make an example of him. I have a feeling they didn't like Jack as a person. Now, I understand that entirely. I don't like Jack as a person. I think he's a piece of excrement. But I don't think he should have been convicted, because you have to remember that he's been convicted of a crime. He hasn't been convicted of being a jerk. And if it was anybody else but Jack, I wonder if there would have been a conviction. Because again, I don't know if the video was admitted into evidence or if the jury saw it, but watching that video, I don't see resisting arrest. Now, admittedly, I've never been a prosecutor, and I tend to look at things through the defense's eyes, but I try to see things like if I was the prosecutor, because, a lot of times if you're going to be defending someone, and thankfully I very rarely have to defend anybody in criminal court, thankfully, it's not my cup of tea. But in order to defend someone, even in a civil matter, you have to know what the opposing side is thinking. You have to be able to anticipate their legal arguments, their trial strategy, things like that, in order to effectively defend your client. But I just don't see it. So, for those of you who celebrate Jack being convicted, I can't make you stop, but I just want you, is there any empathy left anymore? Are you capable of placing yourself in Jack's shoes and knowing you didn't resist arrest and still being convicted of resisting arrest and having 2 years of probation where you can't leave the county without permission? A lot of he can't carry a firearm except in his house or his vehicle. So, he can't carry if he's going in someplace where he thinks that he should be able to carry a firearm. He can't do it, only in his house or in his vehicle. Should he be facing that because of what? Because he's a jerk? I didn't see him resist arrest. Anyway, my condolences, Jack, on the probation. It would be interesting. If anybody has a copy of the trial transcript, I would love to get a copy of it and go over it. I might make a video on it. I might not, depending on if there's anything in there that I think is worth reviewing with you guys. So if anybody does have or can get a copy of the trial transcript and you can get it to me, I'd really appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.